though. But does finish him off. Gets 2. Gets 3.
What a hit that hits him 65%.
And does it go in? It goes in! It goes in!
The widespread fight. 4v1. None.
Good evening, Pio Nation. I hope you're doing well tonight. My name is Matt Williamson, and you are watching Marietta College Esports. So tonight we will have two matches for you. We will have our Rainbow Six team go up against Fisher College in the NACE Starleague Varsity Premier Series. So they're getting things set up with that right now. And at the same time, our Smash Brothers team is going up against Ferris State in the NACE Starleague Varsity Plus competition. Now you might be wondering, well, how are you going to stream two different matches at the same time? Well, the short answer is we're not. But what we are going to do is we are going to stream the Rainbow Six match first. And then afterwards, right now as we speak, we're going to get a recording of the Smash match. So that when Siege is done, we will then replay the Smash match. So that way you guys can see how that went out, how that turned out. So that way we're not snubbing either one of the teams. We want to make sure that all of our teams get exposure here on our Twitch channel because we love all of our teams equally. Yes, we do love them all equally. But with that said, I'm going to go over a couple of announcements. We will have a special guest helping with commentating the Siege match too. You may or may not already know him, but I'll introduce him here in just a minute. But while we are waiting, let's go over the roster for the Siege team. So we're going to have here, in no particular order, we're going to have our captain, senior Aaron Crumb-Spoon playing. We're going to have junior Michael Funka playing. He is ill right now, so he will be playing off campus. We did get permission from NACE for that, so he will be still playing though. We will also have freshman Evan Perel Evangelos playing, senior Dylan Poles Rez, and also freshman Spencer Showwater Static playing. And of course, we want to give shout outs to our coaches, head coach Derek Gamesgrum, Matt Argerite Strato, and Colin Stratford Knights for helping with our Rainbow Six teams. Let's go over a couple of announcements. So first of all, we want to give a shout out to HyperX for being the official peripheral sponsor of Marietta College Esports. They have provided our facility with keyboards, mice, headsets, mouse pads, microphones. We love the quality of the peripherals. I'm using one of their Quad-X microphones in our room right now. So if you're thinking, hey, that's really good audio quality, it's because of HyperX. The quality is great, but I can't talk. So take that for what you will. But if you want to check out some HyperX gear, please be sure to go to hyperx.gg/MariettaES. The QR code is up on your screen. We also want to give a shout out to Over the Moon Pizza for their support every Tuesday and Thursday. They have their game night at their restaurants in Front Street, on Front Street in Marietta. So they have a Nintendo Switch available. So not only can you get great deals on pizza and calzones and sandwiches and drinks, but you can play some Super Smash Brothers or some Mario Kart. And on Tuesdays, if we have a match, they will air it at their restaurant. So like next Tuesday, when our Overwatch team is back, you can go there, get some food, and cheer on our Overwatch team. So go do that next Tuesday, why don't you? Now, of course, we want to thank all of our partners, not just HyperX and Over the Moon Pizza. We want to thank Buy Blue Light. We're working with them for getting some blue light glasses for our students. They're also doing an invitational. We just got the invites the other day, so I think our Overwatch and Rocket League teams are going to be participating in that in the coming weeks. We also want to thank Elgato. We able to improve our stream quality and getting the face cameras for our students. We want to give a shout out to Incrediware for providing the compression sleeves that our students love. We want to thank Kovacs for providing the aim training software. We also want to thank MSI for giving us some monitors and helping us with getting some equipment for some of our events. Of course, we're always recruiting for our esports program. Of course, we have varsity titles in Fortnite, League of Legends, Overwatch 2, Rainbow Six Siege, Rocket League, Super Smash Bros., and Valorant. So we have our facility here on campus. You've probably seen some pictures of it during our pre-streams. We have coaches for several of our titles. We try to make sure our students are doing well academically. We want them to succeed in college, and scholarships are available for high school seniors and college transfers. So more information can be found at our link tree, linktr.ee/Marietta Esports. So it has all of our social media channels and the forms for trying out. But speaking of tryouts, I mean, we do have those going on every month. We will have in-person tryouts this Saturday, February 10th. If you are visiting the campus, I know there's a couple who are, we can set up a tryout while you're here. If you are a high school senior or a college transfer and you're not going to be on campus this Saturday, don't worry. Our next online tryouts will be on Sunday, February 18th. It's a 3-step process. Step number 1 is to fill out the recruitment inquiry form at bit.ly/mcrecruit. You see the QR code on your screen right now. Then you would schedule the tryout at bit.ly/mcesporttryout. Now, if you're not available on February 18th, that's fine. We'll have tryout dates in March and April as well. So just go to the form and you can select when you want to try out. And then step number 3 is to join our Discord server, bit.ly/pio discord. Because it's online, we use Discord as the means to do that. So, definitely check that out. Also, speaking of recruiting, if you are a high school esports program, we want to talk to you. We would love to talk to your coaches and your students about our esports program here at Marietta College. We would love to have you talk to our head coach, Derek Games. Yes, that is his actual legitimate last name. It's not a stage name. He didn't change it at the courthouse. He was born to be an esports coach. So you can email him at drg001@marietta.edu or follow him at X, formerly known as Twitter, at GamesGrump, or even on Discord. But we can arrange a virtual meeting, whether it's through Discord or Zoom or Teams or some other platform. But we would love to share with you what's going on here with our esports program. Now, we have a very big event going on next week. Next Wednesday, February 14th. Not only is that Valentine's Day, but that is our annual Day of Giving. And we are going to be doing probably about a 14-hour stream of some of our students and staff playing games that they love to play as a way to raise some funds to help support our esports program. So we got the lineup here so you can see, like at 10 a.m. Eastern time, our head coach, Derek Games, will be playing the new Persona 3 Reloaded. He loves Persona, so if you like some Persona, definitely check that out. And then at 12 o'clock, we'll have one of our League of Legends players, Aiden Gatlin, play Resident Evil 2. I think this is the remake, and he's going to try to speed run this. And then at 4 o'clock, Peyton Angle and Jackie Lauer will be playing some Psychonauts. At 6 o'clock, Aaron Crum will be playing some Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombies mode. 8 o'clock, Ryan Boggs and Jason Bonfield will be playing some Batman, Lego Batman. And then at 10 o'clock, I'll be closing it out with a Mario 64 run where I'm going to try to collect as many stars as I can in an hour and a half. And my challenge is going to be, I'm going to donate $1 for every star I get. And I hope you guys will do the same thing. But all right, we are getting things set up. So I'm going to hop in Discord real quick to introduce our guest. So give me a second here. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone who is listening, although I'm sure they already recognize that lovely voice of yours.
Hello, everyone. This is Vincent Anderson. I casted last week, and I am in my apartment right now helping out from Discord, but I always want to help out the Siege team as I've played in years past for Marietta College, so I'm excited to see what we got for this week.
All right. Thank you again for joining us. I'm sure everyone is very excited to hear about your insight. So can you see my screen? I did try to make sure it's shared.
Yes, I'm going to see if I'll pop it out real quick and put it on another monitor.
Okay, we're still in the lobby. They're about to start things up. Okay, I guess one of our players just went to the restroom, so we gotta wait just a second here. I don't know all the picks and bans, but it looks like it's gonna be Oregon for map 1, and Marietta will be attacking first.
Okay. All right, you said map 1 will be... Yeah. All right, Marietta attacking. All right.
Yep.
This will be interesting then. Looks like we're gonna have a similar lineup from last week, and Marietta attacking on Oregon. I think we'll be all good. Oregon, as we know, has been a really common map that we know a lot about. So it's a staple of Rainbow Six. So I'm excited to see what we've got. And this is Fisher College. Right, and Fisher has a really good esports program. They've actually, for some of their other titles, I think they've been able to recruit some former professional players. I
I don't know if that's the case with Siege, but I know their director, and he's done some really good things at other institutions. So this is going to be a good matchup for the team. And as a reminder for everyone who's watching, two things. One, we are on a 3-minute stream delay just to make sure that we are preserving competitive integrity. So what you guys see happened 3 minutes ago. Just so that way there isn't any concerns about that. But also, this is the NACE Starleague Varsity Premiere, which is the A teams from all the schools that are part of this. So our team is going up against some of the top Rainbow Six teams in the country. All right, looks like the ready checks are coming in, so we should be starting any second now. Looks like we are starting, so I'm going to get over to the screen here. And so to make sure you can see everything okay, Vincent. If at any point you can't see something, let me know.
Yep, I don't think it'll give me audio, but I should be able to go off of the plays themselves.
Okay, let me double check my audio too, because it could just be that I can't hear anything. And of course, people can't. For some reason, I don't think people can see the game on my end, so I got to figure out what's going on here. Let me just cut over there. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe. Oh, I see what I hit the Overwatch button instead of the Rainbow Six one. No wonder people couldn't see. That's my bad, everyone. I apologize. But let me double check the audio here, because I should be able to hear stuff, but apparently I cannot. Interesting. Let me try that. There we go. All right. Can you hear anything?
I just got the audio as you did that. Yep.
Yeah. Sir, what happened? Since I hit the wrong button and didn't unmute the Siege game, that's what happened there. So I gotta learn to hit the right button. That's all me.
No, it's all good. Everyone has a misclick every now and then.
All right, so let's look at the. All right, so Fisher banned Ying and Marietta's banned Maverick so far.
Mm-hmm. The Ying ban I really understand. When you're taking Attic, it can be really easy to just throw a bunch of Ying Candelas and you get full control of Attic, so banning that is really useful. I'm not sure, Marietta decided to go with the Warden ban. Warden naturally does counter Ying, but it seems that Warden is now liked not just for his Ying counter potential, but also because he is one of the most played operators now with his amazing gun, so I can see why they banned him. They just don't want to go against a Warden these days. Let's see what Fisher College bans for defense. We got the Fend Rear ban. Of course, I think, Matt, this is going to be something that you're going to see very commonly from now on. Fend Rear is just going to be banned a ton. Because no one likes to be nearsighted in any way, shape, or form.
So this is like the old Echo and Mira bans from several seasons ago. So
it's just very, it's I wouldn't even call it. It could be overpowered, but even in that sense, it's just very frustrating to play against, and doesn't resemble Siege to a lot of people.
That broken, huh?
Yeah, that's sometimes how it can feel.
You know,
it looks like for the comps for the attacking side, or sorry, for the defending side, let's take a look at what Fisher has in play. We can see a Thorn, which Thorn I think is a more underwhelming trap operator, but still is one of the few trap operators that has lethality with her device. It doesn't just stun, it doesn't stun you, it will kill you. With Pulse, we've always seen him being able to track people through walls. It's going to be really useful for them being on basement, knowing where Marietta's pushing from. And Cade is good for the hatches to deny entry from up top. And then we have Mira to hold blue bunker, and he will lie for any nade denial. From the side of Marietta, we're swapping onto, looks like this is going to be a rush strat. Everybody strap in the audience. We're going to see some amazing stuff at play here. You see the blitz, you know it's going to be a really, really quick move. It's looking like it's going to be, if I had to guess, Marietta's going to be taking it down Laundry Stairs with the blitz. And this is going to be a fast-paced round. If you blink, you might miss it. And here we go. Marietta's taking Garage, taking the initial space, getting towards Split, and now we're going to be taking Laundry Stairs, it seems. Rez following the drone down the Laundry Stairs and sees the mirror set up and preps a smoke, but gets C4'd instantly. The Cade is now pushing to get a nice off angle onto Marietta, and Spoon also gets taken out by the Pulse from behind. And it looks like Marietta is already down to one player, and that rush was countered magnificently by Fisher College. The Static is on 1 HP. I'm not sure if he's going to be capable of getting it the off, and I didn't think so. That's tough when you're in a 1v5 with 1 HP. We did see the rush strat come out from Marietta, but it seems that it was countered pretty quickly because when you're rushing down Laundry Stairs, it's not fun when you peek and then you witness a mirror window. That's not something you like to see. And then the C4 just adds a bunch of complication to it. We saw Rez prep a smoke to try and block off the site, but up to give some vision denial for the Mira. But at that point, it's too difficult. Like, how are you going to pressure the Mira when you're blitz? So I think that little bit of hesitation was what really set them up to be countered there. But moving on to the next round, we're starting with, it looks like we're going to be Kid's Bedroom. This is a historic site on Oregon. Everybody loves to defend this site. Everybody has some trouble sometimes attacking this site depending on where they go. The Frost is going to be really useful for the windows, and sometimes attic is where Frost places a lot of her mats. The Azami is going to be very useful with her concrete pancakes, giving you additional lines of sight, additional cover. She gets up to 5 of them, I believe, still, so really useful. Womai for nade denial, Malusi and Goyo for entry denial. No wall denial, so it seems that that Fisher is going for more of a give them the wall, but we want them to have a hard time getting onto site with all of the util that we have. Coming in from Marietta, we have the Dokubi pick, which is really, really good. An instant spawn peek onto Spoon. That is going to that's going to leave a mark in Marietta's mental. That it was tough to deal with. And Bomb also gets another pick onto Funka really early in the round. We have not crossed the 2-minute 30-second mark, and 2 of Marietta have already gotten down. Though that's just the tough reality of Rainbow Six Siege. Spawn peaks, early deaths, they will add impact. So let's see if Static is going to be able to drone in his teammates and get some additional map control into Small Tower. Evangelos is following the drone, trying to get some control into Dining. It seems that we're just trying to establish a little bit of map control before we go for a final execute. We have Rez covering the bottom white window. Setting up, most likely also setting up some air jabs for runouts. And Rez does get a nice pick onto Scuba that is going to put Marietta back into only a 1-man disadvantage, but you see the concrete pancakes blocking off the armory stairs. This is going to make it difficult for anyone to be able to push up those stairs, and really they have to make a sound cue to break it, so the defenders don't even have to watch those stairs right now. Maple does get another pick onto Evangelos. That puts us in a 4v2, but is not completely unwinnable. Static does get taken out by Maple as well, holding onto kids dorms, and it looks like Rez is now in a 1v4 scenario. But hope is not lost. A lot of the opponents on their team are lower HP, and Rez does get a pick, but is also simultaneously traded by Beezer. I'm gonna say Beezer is his name. Again, excellent round by Fisher College. Honestly, it's going to sound a bit far-fetched, but I think Marietta really could have won that round. But two of their veteran players got taken out so early on. It really made it difficult for us to really make any progress. We still got 2 picks. If these other 2 members were still up a little bit later on in the round, we could have gotten some stuff done. Seriously, it's prying away these attack rounds is what makes this game so hard. Now moving into. This is going to be another one of those mid sites, Matt. You probably know this. It tends to be the basement sites, and then the upstairs sites tend to be really good for defense, and then the weaker sites tend to be these weird middle sites. So this is where the defenders tend to go last, but they have an unorthodox setup to compensate for it. We have a really heavy roam setup here. We have a Solus, we have a Mozzie, and a Mute. This is really high intel denial, and we have an Azami again. The pancakes you already see are setting them up a meeting. It gives you extra angles and cover, and Womai for the nade denial. For Marietta, it seems that we have a kind of a traditional comp for taking control of Big Tower. We're going to be utilizing that thermite in order to get control of stage, because we want to get a stage plant off behind the little podium. And it seems that is not what you want to see. The thermite dying within the first 15 seconds of the round or first 16 seconds, that is going to be tough, because now we have no way of hard breaching onto site. I will say, like, that's just a tough thing about coming out of spawn, and another spawn peak onto Funka. Fisher College, I'd love to see how they're getting these spawn peaks from their perspective, because they are just non-stop 1-for-1 trades on these. And it looks like Rez is prepping a Z-Hall Nomad and just barely misses the peak onto Butte holding Z-Hall. and it seems that Rez was able to get, and he does turn on the mute and gets a pick off, but all but gets traded by the CC player. Unfortunate. And it looks that Spoon and Static are still up and can still make some good progress in this round. It just is a systematic. Well, as I say that, Spoon gets taken out by Scoobert, and it looks like Static is back on the 1v3, 1 HP, tough scenario. But it looks like Scoobert does manage to hold on to the small tower and get the final pick onto Static.
Yeah, just those spawn peaks have really caused some issues in the past couple of rounds. So, I mean, Marietta has to prepare for that happening again.
Yeah, I can tell Marietta is probably getting really frustrated with those. You really have to play very. It looks like Marietta's taking the time out. They got us. They're gonna talk a little bit. They have to slow it down. They really need to take into account these spawn peaks because it can be one misstep and it's over. One headshot, you're dead. That's just how Rainbow Six has always been. And when you're coming out of spawn, as I remember, as long as it's not within the first 2 seconds.
Yeah, because I think remember there was a game. I don't remember if it was last year or the year before where we contested, and it was like just right after the 2 second mark, and it was a
just
legit.
Barely. Mm-hmm. It was just barely. It says that. Oh, it says that I'm very quiet.
We got it fixed. It should be fixed now.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I increased your output on my end, so everyone should be hearing you better.
All right, sounds good. But yeah, it's tough when you have those spawn peaks because on this map there's plenty of windows on big tower, small tower, and kids dorms, and it can be difficult to get out of spawn sometimes. But that's why you have to pre-fire. You have to show fear. You have to instill fear into the enemy to not make those spawn peaks again. Because remember, although they're on defense and they have the advantage of terrain, they don't have the advantage of weaponry. The attackers generally have longer range scopes and more and higher damaging weapons, so they're gonna have that advantage. So it looks like that Fisher College is going back to basement. Their classic strategy that they used in the previous time, or the previous time they went here. They got the Thorn, Pulse, Cade, Mira, Wamai, and we have a similar Mira setup as the last time. This is the exact same comp, except Marietta is not going for a rush. They're not going to try and go into that Mira setup like last time. So we do see Spoon on the Nook, or Knock, which is really interesting. I know she got changed recently to where her footsteps are no longer muffled. Instead, her image is just wiped from cameras, so she doesn't get the dual effect that she previously had. We have some extra util from Static on the Flores, and Spoon again taken out early on in the round. That is so tough. 3 rounds in a row. I can already tell what's going on in Spoon's head right now. He is not very happy. But we still have our hard breach. We still have plenty of soft destruction, and we have flank watch. So this is still a very winnable round. We just have to be able to take this first fight. And Funka does get taken out by Scoobert again, holding on to small tower so well, using his pulse scanner to get early info, and then just taking gunfights based on that. And it looks like we have Cade holding at top laundry stairs and Static getting some initial intel with his Flores drone. And this is another cool thing about Flores is that sometimes you don't have to use your Flores drones as explosives. And Rez gets a nice pick onto Scoobert, and Small Tower looks like it'll be able to be claimed by Marietta now that we have taken control of that initial point. So now we're actually getting a little bit back further into the game, and a nice pre-fire onto the Cade, but Rez does not manage to get the kill. There are just a few shreds off, but the Cade is going to be forced back as it seems that his position has been found, and Static is now droning further into laundry stairs to try and see if it is fully cleared, and it seems that it's been barricaded off, and Static will blow that barricade up. And Static is going back onto his next Flores drone to see if he can clear any extra utility. So it looks like the last 3 are just at this front, at the front main entrance area, seeing if they can open up the hatch to laundry. Now, opening laundry hatch is all right. It's not as effective as it used to be, but you don't necessarily gain access to site with it. It'd be better. It's really nice to open like meeting hatch or freezer hatch, but laundry hatch, it does put a little bit of pressure to get people out of holding that initial front area. 44 seconds left in the round. Marietta does need to make a move soon. They are at a man disadvantage. They need to take some picks. They need to get some map control. We see my holding Z-Hall by himself. As you can see, he has 3 discs, so he is able to hold on to some nade denial in case he needs to. He gets flashed out, which is what's going on right now. We're attempting to pressure Z-Hall, and we're pressuring bottom laundry stairs. There's the flash for the Mira, and looks like Rez is going to take an initial swing. And there is the first fight that is going down on site. Lots of exchanges of gunfire, and that's just really tough. Now, one thing I did disagree with was when Rez threw that flash, he sprinted through the doorway, which is not necessarily what you want to do there. If you're sprinting in front of a Mira, if anyone peeks you, because if you know the sprint delay, you physically can't shoot them for a good 1.5 seconds, whatever the delay is. So that will get you killed. So in my personal opinion, I would have flashed and then swung with my gun up and maybe pre-fired the Mira a little bit, and then taken control of laundry, and that way my teammates had a chance to entry and get a bit more space. But otherwise, there's not much you can really do there in that scenario. It's tough to try and push when you're at a man disadvantage with such a little map control. Moving on to the next round, we have another similar comp. Fisher College is running a very trap-heavy, roam-heavy, no wall denial-heavy comp upstairs. They tend to open up the master bedroom closet wall instead of reinforce. I think they opened it up last time, or unless I'd have to check. But they tend to just really, really open up the site and play traps and just hold on to the site in their own little way. Again, the Malusi Goyo tends to be a really, really solid option for them, as to just deny entry from Big Window, which is where Goyo is next to currently. And it seems that Marietta is going to be spawning Junkyard and going to try to take Big Tower control. Now, from here, it seems that Marietta is probably going to try and take Attic control and get some control that way, so they can get to Tarp and hopefully push onto Kid's bedroom. Now, there's nothing wrong with this push, but I do like some extra pressure from the opposite side. If you all push from Attic, then the defenders only have to focus on Attic. And this is Maple gets another pick onto Evangelos. That is also their soft support. The Thatcher to get the wall denial. That's going to be tough, but luckily for Marietta, as we saw before, they're not running wall denial. So we're still going to be able to hard breach the wall. And Vonka also gets picked off early. I think that was also by Maple. And it seems that I think Marietta, Rez fell off the roof there and got downed by down from a fall, so he had to get Rez. Spoon is trying to take control of meeting, but he is having to fight one contesting split, and he does get a nice pre-fire onto the meeting hatch. But it looks like we're attempting to get control of Attic right now. Maybe Rez did not fall. He got to really low HP, and it sounded like Thermite was screaming like he was falling. But Rez is down right now. And as you can see, Attic is being heavily held. This is the problem with only pushing Attic, is it's tough to really get control from one area. Spoon does get taken out initially, and then Static does get a pick back onto Bomb, and Maple finishes off the last two. From a nice angle from Kids Dorms. I didn't expect him to get both kills from there. That was really interesting. So again, this is the attack half. It's one of the harder halves. I think if Marietta can just get if they win these next two rounds, I honestly, or this next round here, there's only one round left in the half. Marietta's at least completely not out of the fight. But I do agree that sometimes attack can just be, it can be really brutal just to get some control side. I know that these are some of the best teams out there, but it's really just about figuring out where we can get some map control, burn some util, and just stop letting them get these early picks. It's really, really hard to push a site when you're 4v5, not just because you have less bodies, but also because that's less util, that's less drones. That's less everything. That's less. That's one less person to watch your back while you're trying to use a piece of util or something. That's one less person to watch flank. You know, so it's not just it's a person that can trade me. It's a person that can do a lot of things. So those spawn peaks, they have a really high impact, higher than most people think. So we're going into the action phase on the meeting strat. Again, we have the Solus, we have Castle. That Castle is commonly ran on this meeting strat, so I like that they're actually using one. And let's see, Marietta spawning again. Junkyard, we see Spoon on the Sledge, Zofia on Funka as Zofia. We have the Evangelos on Stasher, Rez on Thermite, and Static on Nomad. We're going to try and get control of Big Tower again, and we're going to see if we can so we're trying to establish this, and Spoon does counter spawn peak the dock. Let's go. That is a really good pick. That is what we needed to turn this in our favor. So that is also the dock that's gone from their side. So that means no more healing from the side of Fisher College. And that was a very huge pick. Very good job from Marietta there. And it seems that Spoon may know that Castle is holding the window extremely close. Spoon might be able to get an extra pick, but he does not succeed. But he may have had intel that Castle was super close from the drone from Rez, and he almost was able to get a shot off onto it. But that trade is going to be really difficult for Marietta to get anything out. But Static does manage to trade out the Castle, who was stuck in Green Hall. That is going to put Marietta at an advantage this round. This is very winnable. But as we can see, there are some footholes on the right side of the meeting wall that Rez is trying to open. He's going to get an extra angle from this thermite charge, but they try to impact trick it and fail. This gives Marietta an angle into meeting. And now we see that there's one still contesting attic. This is not good. If one peeks at attic hatch, the person joining right now is going to die. And he almost manages to do so. But Rez does get the refrag onto Tech, and Mabel also gets a frag onto Funka. So it's just Rez in the 1v2. This is a tough scenario, but he does have 2 smokes, and he might be able to get a nice play here. But one is still attic and can peek it from the hatch. I don't know if he knows this. But he still has a minute on his hands. He just needs to get that diffuser. He does not have it in his hands right now. And it looks like the Y actually accidentally one-ways the Thermite. That's going to be really tough for him. But Thermite really does need to grab that diffuser and get out of there. It looks like he still does not have defuse, so he's going to have to either go for... One is still in attic. It looks like Thermite takes care of the camera, so that way he can get some better control on Split. He attempts the Thermite onto Split wall, which is what Wamai was holding, but unfortunately that's not gonna be able to go through. So we all know that the Thermite breach charge animation takes a while, so it might have been a good bait, but it was tough. This was that was the closest Marietta had to winning, because we got that counter spawn peak. The cool thing about spawn peaking is, while there could be a huge devastation to the attacking team, it could be a huge devastation to both teams, because if you counter spawn peak, well then now the defenders are much worse off, and they very well almost lost that round, but they had to make some crazy plays to get back. So one had to walk in with the Solus had to walk in with the PDW and get 2 kills on a Marietta to even give them a chance at winning that round again. So really close round from Marietta. That was a really good start. So the much better than we'd seen in previous rounds. And it looks like Marietta is going to be starting on kids dorms. So this is the upstairs site. Marietta is going to be using a classic comp. They have some wall denial from the mute that they may or may not be using. Sometimes people use mute for wall denial, some people use it for drone denial. They have nade denial for Funka as Jaeger, and Spoon is on Goyo. Rez is of course on Maestro, and Static is on Malusi. All respectable operators. And let's see what Fisher College is going to be using to try and counter this. We have the Brava being used, which, if you don't know what Brava does, she's a relatively new operator. Essentially, she has 2 drones that are able to hack electronic devices that are used by the defenders, as far as I can tell. So she can hack
Jaeger ADSs. I believe she can hack Maestro cams, Malusi gadgets, and they will work in her favor instead of the defender's favor. Also, we see a Dokebi, which is really interesting, from Scoobert, and an ace for the wall, and then a Yana for the clones, and then of course Buck for extra soft destruction from below. It seems that the attackers are already trying to burn some util from Attic, and we already have control. The attackers already have control of Trophy. Evangelist could try and throw a C4 and get a massive pick into Trophy, but he has to land that C4 lineup correct. It's not an easy C4 to land. You really have to practice that. And it seems that we have one repelled onto the game's window. The attackers are already extremely close on site. And Rez is already dead, and one is in kids' dorms right now. Scoobert has control of the site as we speak, and Spoon is trying to rotate back as everyone is scrambling to try and regain control of the area. And it seems that Spoon is not able to deny the plant from below. Unfortunate, but we do see that he is trying to get back up Armory stairs, and yeah, that's just going to be tough. Trying to regain control from there. Spoon was off site, and this is another tough thing about defending when you're roaming. So Spoon was roaming because by definition roaming is just, you're off site, you're not playing necessarily exactly on the bomb site, you're just trying to gain control of a different area of the map. And what Spoon is doing here is he's trying to hold on to this area, and the attackers just go straight to site. They go straight into kids' dorms. They go straight into Trophy, and they take control of everything. By the time Spoon can even do anything, they've already planted. So they basically just do a 5v4 on site, and they win. Really, really tough rounds, but I'm glad that Marietta tried their absolute best there. It's just really trying to hunker down and hold on to site that we need to focus on. And we're already right into the next map. That's pretty interesting. Is that the first time we've forgotten the next map that fast?
No, it's just like the team is just ready to move on to the next one. So I mean, but yeah, it looks like it's, what was it? I didn't even pay attention. Was it Clubhouse? I didn't even pay attention.
Bank.
Oh, it was Bank.
Right.
Okay, it was Bank.
Yeah.
I saw a bomb, and I can't remember. Yeah, they're doing Bank. Yeah, Marietta's on defense first this time. So aside from the spawn peaks that happened, because I mean that definitely hurt him, what adjustments does Marietta, what do they need to make to get into a map 3?
So Marietta is going to be on the, I think, as far as I know, Marietta's in an advantageous position here. Bank is generally defender sided, and as most maps are, but Bank is known to be pretty difficult to attack at times. Marietta really needs to be sure that they are keeping tabs on intel, knowing exactly where the opponents are getting to, knowing the pacing of the attackers, because we saw the round started and the attackers were practically already in Trophy, outside of site, knocking on the door to site, waiting to get in. Within the first 45 seconds, 30 seconds, Habana was able to just get into, it might have been Big Window, just jump into site and kill Rez almost instantaneously. We really need to make sure that if these guys are just jumping into site, okay, that's fine. We have Goyos, we have traps. Let's just hunker down. Let's just hold on to things as we have them. If they're just going to full rush us, if they're going to spawn peek us, they're going to take these fights, it's because they're confident that they can win them. And when you get overconfident, that's when you get some extra value. So Marietta really needs to just be cautious, be calm, and understand that they can win gunfights too. It may seem like they can't, but that's the psychological game about this as well. I think half of FPS games is playing like you know you're better. Because when you feel like you're worse, you're scared to take fights that are fine. Like, it seems like in Siege, gunfights are like 50-50 a lot of the time. It's like you swing somebody, sometimes you're really at a disadvantageous position, you're low HP, whatever. Most of the time, gunfights are 50-50, and it's up to, do you have better aim, do they have better aim? But sometimes you get scared to take them because they've been winning a lot of them, they've been doing very well earlier in the game. That's the psychological part of FPS games that really doesn't get talked about very much.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think that's one of the things about Varsity Plus is because the team knows they're going up against some of the best teams, there may be a little intimidation there going, okay, we're playing against some of these top teams. Am I good enough to be in this competition? But the team needs to realize that, yeah, they are good enough to compete with the likes of Fisher and Cincinnati and so forth. They just got to have that confidence.
Exactly. That's it. It really is half the game, and the attackers are already inside of CC. This is what I'm talking about. This aggression is insane. We were so reinforcing, and the attackers are already in CC. Bomb has claimed to pick onto Echo, one of the strongest defenders on Marietta's side. They're already gaining control of site as we speak. Bomb gets another pick onto Spoon. They're flashing in with an Osa to shield off the plant, and the CC wall farthest from us, as we can see, is not reinforced. They can use soft destruction to get inside, but it looks like Thermite is going to be trying to get a plan off, but Tachanka, Rez is using his mollies to actually deny the plant and make it difficult for them to be able to get in there, because if the floor is on fire, you can't plant. So Rez utilizing his mollies to stop this plant from going off, but Scuba takes control and of this site and manages to kill Rez, and it looks like Static is going to be taken out pretty quickly as well. Really, really tough round. But we did see, I do like the Chanka being used on that site, though. It makes it really easy to just deny plant and keep those mollies up. And Chanka gets so many of them, too.
Yeah.
And it looks like...
They're just going to call for a pause. I think there's a technical issue.
Yeah.
That may give us a little chance to talk a bit about the game there. I'm wondering if, for the technical issue, I have to double check, but I'm going to wonder if Evangelos has an issue with his computer. His computer did blue screen right before the match, before we started the stream, so I wonder if it blue screened again. But going back to that round, it just seemed like, I was just saying, the composition was fine, the placement, everything was good, but they were just caught off guard by how quickly Fisher got onto site.
Yeah, and that's another thing is, I mean, in all reality, I'm also going to say this really quick. I think Marietta did make a small mistake. You really shouldn't be reinforcing that late into the prep phase. You honestly should have those reinforcements up and ready to go early on. But that's just kind of prep issue. You can fix that really easily. Just make sure that you can, like, sometimes run through your setups that you go through and make sure that you have the farthest out stuff set up first, so that way when you're setting up stuff later, the attackers can't peek you see, because as you can see, when the attackers are coming in from tunnel there, they can see you when you're setting up the reinforcement, and even if you finish the reinforcement, you're now trapped in a corner because you can't get out without them peeking you. Yep. So he was caught off guard because he thought, oh, there's no way they'll rush that fast. You can't be lenient at all in this league. You can't be lenient about, oh, well, they probably won't do that. In many games, it can be a game of inches of how much value can we get. That's what the enemy team is thinking. They will go for every single play that will give them the most advantage. And at this point, they saw, okay, they're still reinforcing. Get on site, go through tunnel, run in there, kill them. And they managed to stop the Echo from even finishing off his second reinforcement, which was really, really nice. From the side of Fisher College. This is exactly the thing. They have the confidence, and they also notice the weaknesses in the defense. So this is one thing that we really gotta make sure that we have the pacing and practicing the setups for each site. It can be tough because there's so many of them. And that's the thing. There's so many sites you have to set up, so many strats per site, and everyone has their own role and what they have to do. It's tough. There's a lot that goes on in the development of it. But that's just another thing that you have to do.
Yeah, and it looks like Evangelos is back. I'm going to guess the game crash. It didn't look like he blue screened because he was on the whole time, but I'm going to guess the game crash. That's why they needed that pause.
Oh no, yeah, we've got the CEO site started for Marietta. Now, luckily, Marietta can go any site they want if they lose the offensive round. The only time they can't go a site is if they win a defensive round. So luckily, Marietta is going to be able to set up on CEO with, looks like they have some head holes on the right wall, and they reinforce the left one. It looks like they might have a Maestro cam watching deep into square. Looks like we just have a very heavy Yuto comp. We have a Castle, we have a Jaeger, lots of nade denial. The Maestro's cams are gonna be really nice. I do believe, I'm not sure if Maestro still has 3 cams or if they took that away. I'd have to ask the team afterwards. But we also have the Azami for those concrete pancakes, and look at the comp coming out from Fisher College. You have the Grim, Amaru, Ying, Lion, Buck. This is an aggressive comp. You know it's a crazy comp when there's no hard breacher. I'm very interested to see what strat they use right here. Funka is going to be on an aggressive roam with Thorn. And it looks like he's already dead to to the front lobby windows from the rappel. That'll get you. It looks like that's Scoobert on the line taking out Funka on initially. And it looks like Fisher is already gaining control of Banana in the main lobby. And Ying is going to be actually candeling top Banana, and Spoon is completely blind and is not able to see anything right now. He has to fall back all the way up to Marble Stairs, and he gets taken out, but Rez does get a refrag onto Scoobert, and Maple manages to get a frag onto Static, and Beezer takes out Rez. This is what I'm talking about with Ying. The Fisher banned Ying initially, and then saw that Marietta didn't ban Ying on this map, so they brought her. And as you can see, Ying is just a completely ridiculous operator to play against. And that's why the Ying, some people say Ying, the reason why she's not incredibly high tier, she is very high tier, but the reason why she's not used a bunch is because Warden has played so much in today's meta, who directly counters Ying. So, but if Warden didn't exist, Ying would probably be like a perfect operator, because there's barely any way to stop her unless you have ADSs or Wamai gadgets, etc. So, and she gets 4 canned. I think she's still, actually she might only have 3. I think she only has 3. I don't know. I'd have to check. But let's see, for this basement site, we have this Chanka, Castle, Echo again, and as you can see, Echo is immediately putting up his reinforcements so he does not get caught off guard. Again, like I said, you can put a band-aid on that, easily patch it up. It was just a small mistake that we were able to get figured out, but Echo is not bad on this site. You can hide his drone in nice little areas and deny the plant. It looks like we're just going heavy plant denial here on this site. We want to stall as much as possible. The Tachanka Mollies will be able to stall the plant. The Echo drone will be able to stall the plant. And Funka's ADSs will be able to stop them from spamming grenades into the red hallway, which is where Rez will be playing. And Static will also be trying to open up the top the hatches in open area. And it looks like Beezer already gets a pick onto Spoon instantaneously. I'm not sure exactly where Spoon was playing, but that is a lot of Azami pancakes that we will lose. And Rez is already down from Scoobert as well. And that's just really tough. And Beezer manages to also get a frag onto Funka. Static does have control of the staff area. Maybe he could get a flank, but it seems that Fisher is just going in from garage, and Cabitao is also maintaining control of the staff area. Evangelos does not manage to take out Scoobert, but Static does have the nice flank that I was thinking about onto these open area hatches, and almost gets a frag onto Buck, but now has to go down the main stairs, which is going to be tough. But he does manage to kill the Yana, but gets traded by the Capitao by Tech Will. An unfortunate round for Marietta, but again, it's these early picks, like I'm saying, like it's really tough. This early aggression from Fisher is what is winning them rounds, because
it just seems like
teammates dying so early.
Yeah, it just seems like Marietta has not met an opponent that's so aggressive early on that they're trying to go out and roam and look for picks, but they're getting picked off before they're even in position. So they're gonna have to be prepared for that hyper aggressive play style.
It's that confidence. It's that confidence from the attackers. They are playing extremely aggressive comps. They're playing Amaru, Ying, and now that we're on sort of like a middle of the road site, they're playing a bit more conservatively with their default comps. But we're switching to, it looks like an Ace from the side of Fisher, as well as Marietta is still going with their same comp of the Maestro, Jaeger, Castle, Azami, and Mute. Maybe Beezer going to be switching to a Lion. So this is going to be, again, a bit more aggressive. And yes, we're going to see an Ash, as well as looks like a Buck, actually, and a Zofia. Very entry heavy comp. I really like to see how they take control, or try to take control of this site here. And it looks like we're still reinforcing the quad wall on staff, which can take a little while to do. And we're castling off archives. We see 4 defenders are going to be playing on the ground floor, and Allion is already rushing into the staff room, and already manages to get a frag onto Evangelos and Rez. They practically have control of site already, and the defenders were not anticipating this. Spoon has to immediately rotate back to site, but he can't get it through any window because of the castle barricade. He's trying to get a wall bang onto the quad wall, or at least Funka is, but is unsuccessful. Tries to use a shotgun, but just can't get anything to connect, and that's unfortunate. Once we see the Buck and the Ash and the Lion come out, in my opinion, I think that's when they identify a weak. They have already identified a weakness in our strat, and they say, "Hey, they're weak here. Let's go Lion. Let's go Buck. You Lion skin. I'm just gonna go straight in through that staff room, and we're just gonna get these picks." And that's exactly what they did.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
Yeah, they're realizing they can just move in very quickly, identify where the... And Rez already took a... Must have been a misplaced grenade.
That was, yeah, so it looks like I think he impacted himself. That's an unfortunate thing. Sometimes when you're trying to make it a rotate hole, as you can see, a rotate hole is being the janitor closet that Rez was next to. Sometimes when you throw it, if you're too close to it, you accidentally damage yourself. It's not going to be really fun to play the whole round at half HP, but that's sometimes how the cookie crumbles. And it seems like, I think it looks like they took away the 3 Maestro cams. I think Maestro only has 2 cams now, which is good, because the 3 Maestro cams, from what I've heard, was not a fun experience for people to play against.
But it looks like we're going to see the Ying, Lion, and Monty coming out, and the Buck.
Yeah.
So we're going to see another zerking right in, popping that line to find out where everyone is.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like we're going to be seeing, yep, the Monty's going to be coming in from main lobby. He's probably going to walk up Banana. He's probably going to follow his teammates are probably going to follow him. He's going to act as that shield to gain all the intel. And then the teammates are going to be right behind him. They're going to get any frags they need to get. Lion scan, Ying Candela, whatever they need to do. And it's going to be very, very difficult for Marietta to maintain control. As Funka was trying to hold an off angle in the lone office, but does get picked immediately by Bomb. That is really, really tough. And now it seems that Castle is trying to hold on to, Evangelist is trying to hold on to Banana, but he may not know that Monty is so close, and he is trying to hide in the CEO, but he does get taken out by the Monty, who does manage to see him in top Banana, and one is still repelling outside of the main lobby windows, and Static does get taken out by Maple. Who I believe is still sitting. Oh, and Maple does manage to get the refrag on to Maple, and Rez also gets a frag onto Bomb. This is a 1v3 for Spoon, but unfortunately he does get caught mid reload, which is so tough for Spoon. This long haul can be really, really tough to maintain control of where the attack is pushed from, and it seems that Marietta is down pretty far. But if they can just get one round here. If they can just get one round, they should be fine. Because as what I always like to say is, it's better to get 7-0, 7-1 than 7-0, 7-0. But you just have to take it one round at a time. That's all you really got to think about. Because right now, it's so easy to be discouraged, to say we're down so far. All you need to focus on is this round right now. We have 40 seconds, 1 prep phase, staff room, open area. What are we going to do? How are we setting this up? Marietta is still hard at work trying to get this done, right? We're making the rotates into archives. Funka is on the mutes. We have this exact same comp from last time. We know our operators, we know our strats. If anything, we can take this as practice. It does not matter. Right now, all we are worried about is getting this site set up and taking these fights. Tech Will is going to be switching to the Bravo. We have the Lion and the Amaru again. It looks like we're going to see another rush strat. We know Marietta has been getting rushed this whole game. They're ready for it. They're prepared for it. They know that the aggression is going to be quick from Fisher College. How will Marietta adapt? What is Marietta going to do to make this change? They have to do something about this. And it seems that Fisher might be going in from the same staff room again. They are. We see the Zero coming in from the staff room window. We have 3 set up, all ready to go. That is at least where the Lion, Zero, and it looks like the Buck are. And there it is. Buck is opening up the small staff window. and Rez is holding on to a nice off angle, holding across with his fellow teammates. Evangelos holding on to Staff as well, and it looks like Static does manage to get a pick on. Static managed to get a pick onto Scoobert, which does put Marietta in the 5v4 scenario. And it looks like Spoon is going to be trying to hold on to main stairs a bit more, but vertical play is going to be achieved by Fisher College, as they are now in stock. They're in the stock room, which means that they're going to be able to establish a bit of vertical control. Beezer does get a frag on the Funga, which puts Marietta in a 4v3 scenario, but Rez does get a frag back on the Beezer. Marietta is at an even HP scenario, and Spoon also gets a frag on the Bomb, but Maple manage to take out Spoon, and now it is just Static in a 1v2 scenario. Tech Will on low HP, still winnable, believe it or not. And Buck is going to be planting the diffuser, but he has to get these picks. He has to get these kills right here. Only one can be attacking him right now, but now the Bomb is down, they're both up. Static needs to take these swings, he needs to take these fights. And unfortunately, he does get taken out in the final round, but that was such a close one for Marietta. Spoon does manage to get some picks, but in the end, it does not seem to be enough. Again, really, really good mechanics, really, really good strategies, and I know Marietta can learn a lot from this, and this type of practice is what we need. So now Marietta is going to be going on the offensive, and we'll see if Marietta can do any unorthodox strats to try and force any weird spawn peaks from Fisher. We do remember that Fisher is very aggressive.
Yeah, we should expect the spawn peak. Like, no, I've seen this from multiple games before, where if it's match point for the other team, they're going to try something cheesy, they're going to try something quick to try to finish off the match. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go something very unorthodox to just try to get that quick win.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to be going basement for this site. For Fisher College, they're setting up Goyos outside of CC. They actually have, they're setting up 2 Goyos on the wall, as we saw that Maple do. And we're gonna have a very roam heavy site, it seems, or at least we're gonna have 2 roamers with Vigil and Solus. With Wamai for nade denial on site, and Legion also for a little bit of intel and plant denial, because when you're hit with Legion Mine, you physically can't plant the bomb until you pull the Legion Mine out. Legion gets 8 of these mines throughout the course of the round and can throw them wherever he pleases. So now Marietta is going to be trying to take control. It looks like Marietta's going to try and take control of stock so they can open up these hatches on the site. Spoon does manage to get a drone in there, see if there's anything going on, but it looks like Bomb goes into the small room on the right side and gets a pick onto Funka early on, and now Bomb is peeking this close window, trying to get another pick on Spoon. His early pick is really, really tough for, and there it is. There's that early pick that I was talking about, going for that extra swing there, getting really ambitious with that. And there it is. There's the, this is going to be a Monty plant right here. So it looks like they're going to have to wait out these Goyo canisters, but we really, really have to make sure that there it is, the blue stairs flank. You don't have any coverage for there's 2 people flanking blue stairs. And unfortunately, Mary is in a 1v5 scenario, and Static is the last one alive. He does manage to get 1, but he gets traded. Unfortunate. That is going to have to be a GG, and props to Fisher College. They did an excellent job. They did an excellent job playing that one. And Marietta tried to get their strat off with the Monty plant. Essentially, they were trying to walk Monty into the site, then one person plants the diffuser, and then they hold from there. But it seems that the 2 people flanking blue stairs were able to throw Marietta off, as they didn't have control of that part of the map. They were able to flank because Spoon was taken out early.
Yeah, just came back to those early picks and just be able to collapse on the remainder of the team. All right, but yeah, that will be it for the Rainbow Six match. Vincent, thank you for taking some time. I know how busy grad school life is, so I truly appreciate you taking that time out of your schedule to help talk to everyone about Rainbow Six. I know everyone appreciates your commentary, so thank you so much.
Oh no, yeah, it's no problem. Seriously, I saw that I had at least in the evenings for the siege matches. I should be good for the time being, until I start studying for the CPA exam, or at least finishing it up. that'll be able to help out. So it's been a lot of fun. I really do enjoy helping out the team. It's been because they've done a lot for me over the years, so I really like doing this stuff.
All right, yeah, thank you again. But so for everyone that's watching, so that's going to be it for Rainbow Six. But we're not done streaming today because we are going to take a quick break, and I'm going to see how things are going with the Super Smash Brothers match. So remember, that's going on right now. So whenever that's done, they may still be doing it. Or may not. I'll have to find out when I step out of here. But we'll get the video whenever that match is done, and we'll get the recording here so you guys can check it out. So don't go away. We will be back in a few minutes. So yeah, Vince, any other things you want to say before we sign off here on the Siege match?
No, I'm glad that Marietta got some experience. There'll be some good VOD review for him. So I thank you for having me here. Seriously.
Yeah. All right, absolutely. But all right, everyone. So don't go away. We'll be back in just a few. Well, actually, don't know how many minutes, but we'll be back with our Super Smash Bros. Match against Fair State at some point. So just hang tight for a little bit here.